Hello, everybody. This is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from downtown Manila, late in the evening. And I've got a wonderful guest from the other side of the world with a great story. We've been having a chat about the story. It's an awesome story. His name is Christopher J. Wesley. And Christopher J. Wesley is the chief emotional operator of Artistic Agenda. It's a transformational coaching, fine art, and fiction publishing. Done this for almost forever, but a minimum of 15 years. A brief description: his work spans transformational coaching, fine art, and fiction, all connected for a single purpose: helping people, excuse me, to author stories that shape their lives. In my coaching, I guide high-achieving women and emotionally engaged men through seasons of reinvention so they can move from fragmentation into a greater self-trust, coherence, and meaning. In my fine art, I create visual works that serve as an emotional mirrors, pieces that invite reflection, healing, and a deeper encounter with the inner life. In my fiction, I expose identity, power, suffering, and transformation through magnetic words that reveal, that I reveal deeper human truths. Together, these three branches form one interconnected body of work. And what's the word here, Christopher? It's a mouthful.
Anthrotonic.
That's the one. Tell us again.
Anthrotonic.
Yeah, tell us what that means in a moment, because I got no idea. I'm sure some of you don't know either. So let's find out what it means later, where expression becomes medicine and story becomes a path to transformation, right? Key achievements. Regret in another word here. What is it?
Triptych.
Yeah, it's a tricky word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Global ebook award winner. That's a good thing. Masterful Mind Award winner for Circle Arts Foundation. An interesting one. You'll tell you this story too. The backstory: Ashes to Ember art collection. My first art collection release after losing everything in the Eaton wildfire. So Christopher's, like me, at some stage has had to start again. So if Christopher can do it and I can do it, you can do it too. So it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Christopher. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
No trouble at all. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you all those years ago to go down your current path. What happened?
It started by being abandoned by my mother at the age of 5 to
Wow.
an emotionally and physically abusive father. She took my older brother and younger sister with her and left
Wow.
me with the father to fend for myself.
Oh, God.
So I endured that until the courts took me out of his house at the age of 10.
Yeah.
When they did that, uh, I knew I was in a very bad state, but my mom would not allow me to go to therapy. I was
Oh, God.
asked for it. At the time, coming out of that kind of environment, I was hiding, sharpening pencils and putting them in strategic places in the house and scissors and all kinds of other things that I could
Protect
like
yourself.
feel like I had weapons within reach,
Crazy. I was
even
10.
though,
Yeah, unbelievable.
yeah. So like even though there wasn't physical abuse, there was emotional abuse, but not physical abuse in my mom's house. It's like one of those weird things about suffering
Sure.
the like physical trauma or assault. So I knew I was in really bad shape. She didn't want to pay for a therapist because she didn't want to pay for someone to tell her it was her fault.
Yeah. Pretty amazing.
It, yeah. So in a weird way, it helped that my father was narcissistic and needed, on some level, for someone to understand his quote unquote genius.
Yeah.
So, is he had the ability to like just sit and have a what appeared to be a regular conversation with you as a stranger, like if we're sitting in a waiting room,
Yeah.
but he would use certain questions to poke and prod your psychology so he could then start attacking you and start eroding your self-esteem, your self-concept without you even knowing. Like you would think you had just this random conversation with someone but not understand why you would walk away feeling like suddenly down and depressed.
Yeah.
Well, after those kinds of encounters, like if I was when I was with him, when we would be like, say, driving home from the appointment, he would explain to me what he was doing, why he was doing it, how he was probing and prodding the person
Yeah.
to disassemble them. And around the age of 12, it occurred to me that I had this ability, I understood psychology in that way.
Yeah.
So I potentially reverse engineer that to
Yeah.
rebuild myself.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, you've come on quite a journey, my friend, quite a journey, And interesting enough, I've done 500 of these. Every man and woman out there has got a story. I don't know anyone who's been down the straight line. I don't care if you're born with a silver spoon in your mouth. There's no straight line, guys. It's life's like that. It's twists and turns. They say God laughs at people who make plans, right? And it's true. You can only worry about today. The past is over. The future's promised, but today is the day that you focus on, right? Tell us,
Yeah.
what's been the most challenging aspect of what you're doing, and how have you been overcoming that?
So the most challenging aspect of this is kind of understanding the key to moving through life with a solid frame, like a solid understanding of who you are,
Yeah,
and yet being able to adapt to new situations and uncertainty and basically the environment we find ourselves in today,
yes,
and seeing so many others unable to tap into their own personal genius because
yes,
they're so focused on like what's happening in the news. And I see people spending literally hours a day just consuming the bad news of whatever
yeah, God,
is going on,
right,
as
yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
like
I
looking internally
yeah,
and working on the things that they have some control or influence over.
yeah. I say, keep up to date, of course, but with most of the news, guys, remember one thing: you got zero control. We're pawns in the game. You got zero control on the outcomes anyway. But just be aware, you're an individual, and it's all planned by people much higher and larger than you are. Right. Tell us about an important moment in your career that when you were younger that changed direction and got you back on the right track.
Single biggest event was also a reauthoring event. I was 29 years old
Yeah.
and about to commit suicide.
Wow.
I had the gun to my head, the safety off, and my hand inside the trigger guard. And I am trained. You don't put your finger inside the trigger guard until you're ready to pull it.
Yeah.
I was that close when I asked myself, what exactly had me here? And the bottom line foundational reason was I felt like I had no agency in life. Like nothing I did mattered. It did not change the course or direction of what I was going through. I talked myself down by making a deal. Like I would change direction completely
Yeah.
and do something that I've never done before
Mhm.
and see how that turned out. That led for me going to school full time while working full time.
Yeah.
And that was it. Like I needed the student loans. So that's why I had to go to school full time to qualify for the loans that I needed to pay for me to go down this other direction.
Yes.
And that experience, I did eventually, and I went year round, graduated in 3 years with a BS in multimedia technology.
Fantastic.
And yeah, and graduated as class valedictorian. That like changed everything. It taught me how I can do very hard things
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I can that actually made a lie of what I thought before, that I did not have agency.
Yeah.
Getting through that taught me I do have agency. I just have to sometimes figure things out and go down a different road.
Yeah. Some couple of my favorite sayings are, if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And you've lived that. And the other one is this: no one is coming to save you. That's a fact, guys. No one's coming to save you. So get off your ass and save yourself. It really is. You can get advice, but you've got to do it. I can tell you how to lose weight. I can tell you how to do lots of things, but you've got to actually do it, right? We can't do it for you, right? We can motivate you to an extent, but you've got to follow through on it, and which you've done. I'm proud of you, my friend. You've done awesome from that sort of background. You've done fantastically. Tell us,
Thank you.
in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have contributed to your amazing journey and your current success?
Listening to that voice in my head, understanding that there was something, that there's a wisdom that is inherent in all of us, and that comes from how we interpret and experience the world.
Yeah.
We can listen to advice from people and see mentors and things like that, but the best mentors always are, they're not so much telling us what to do, where to go, as they are posing the questions for us to look inside and find the answers.
Yeah. And I learned many years ago, trust your gut. It's like your second brain. And you go, oh, I didn't like this guy. And it says your gut. And you go, no, he's okay. It turns out he wasn't okay after all. So trust your gut, guys. It's your second brain. And regarding wisdom, you get wisdom all your life, guys, but you don't get it until you're ready. You can't get it from a book. It's just out there, and it pops into your head when you're ready. Right. And you add that to your repertoire, and it just adds to your knowledge. And as you get older, you get more and more of it. Right. Sometimes too late. I'm 77. I'm still getting it. Right. But I'm applying it as well, which is fantastic. Tell me, I'd say you're a good listener as well. And obviously very, very dogged determined. You're determined to win, like you're determined, nothing's going to get me down. I'm going to win, and that's awesome. I was told when I was 14, you'll always be a nobody, you'll always be a labourer. And for 14 years, I believed that. I had 200 jobs from 14 to 28, and I used to go to the newspaper and look up labourer, 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 because I was preconditioned that I was a labourer.
Oh, wow.
I didn't go into sales. I didn't go into other good stuff. I went into bloody hard work, oil rigs, digging holes in the ground, whatever, hard work. And then one day I just said to myself, oh, I've had enough of this. I'm sick of working for idiots. I'm going to go and work for a lunatic. So I started working for myself. And with a hard grind, 2 years later, I was extremely successful and have continued to be successful ever since. Just because I flipped the coin over. It took me a long time to wake up, though. But one day I just flipped the coin over, all right? So, and you've done that too, which is fantastic, right? We've got to reinvent ourselves, right?
Yes.
Tell me, how do you stay motivated and continue to, as you do, continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret there?
I'm a deeply caring person, what people call a sensitive person, but I prefer the term deep feeling. And the things that I engage in with fine art and fiction, I have such a respect for the people that have pioneered ahead of me that I feel it's my responsibility to carry that torch with what I do. So to not just be another person who just makes things, but to make things that resonate with literally the human condition. So that's where I came up with the term anthrotonic, which is a tonic for the human condition.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything I make is somehow connected to the idea that expression is medicine, and be an example for other people, because we all have some kind of internal genius, but it's going to look differently in all of us. But
correct.
Sometimes we just need someone to cross our path that says,
that's right. I believe in you.
Yeah, this is possible.
Yeah, I love it. I sometimes think about, I sometimes think about the alphabet, and I think, how's a little baby get born, and all these letters of the alphabet, 26 of them. How does a little baby grow up and turn all those letters into words and communicate? It's an amazing thing in itself. And that's why I really do believe we probably only use 10 or 20% of our brain. There's so much more there if you look within, guys. And I'm not trying to be a woo woo, but that's what I believe, that there's so much more, right? But we've got to dig deeper and find it, right? It's as you said, it's within us. We've just got to get up and do it. And it's nice to have a cheer squad. When you've got, a wife or a partner, someone who supports you, that you've got a cheer squad, it's a huge help, right? You don't have to go alone, guys. Get a mentor. Get your little cheer squad happening and toot your own horn. I mean, you're a very humble guy, but humble doesn't always win. You got to toot your horn a bit and get out there and with the people and spread the word, which was what you're trying to do. Tell us about a recent project or achievement you're particularly proud of.
The most recent one is actually the one I'm engaged with now. Is just before the fire, I had created a collection that was called As Far as the Eye Can See, and it consists of 9 artworks that each one is a horizon. So when you think of in terms of like achievement, you're orienting yourself and then you're heading in the direction of something. So each artwork is a potential horizon, and then the fire happened before I released it.
Right. Well, yeah.
Now those works have a deeper resonance.
Absolutely.
Because after the fire, I had to find a new horizon. I had to create a new path to get there. So I'm releasing those works like literally as I go through this narrative, like in real time. So a few weeks ago, I released the first artwork, which is ironically titled Wildfire.
Nice.
That one actually kind of triggered me. After fire. And then now the one I'm living now is what I call blue sky syndrome.
Nice. Yeah.
Which is the insistence that there is a better tomorrow. And it's just a matter of putting the pieces together to make that happen.
For those that don't know the backstory, Christopher, tell us quickly what happened to you a few years ago that changed where you're at today. What happened?
So January of 2025, one of the California wildfires, the Eden fire specifically, threatened our home. So we had, I don't typically watch the news. My wife and I, we were streaming a show and we're like, okay, well, it's time for bed. Yeah. And I just happened to check my text messages. Lovely. And there were people like texting, "Are you okay from the fire?" And
you're thinking, what fire?
Yeah, that was my first thought. I don't know what you're talking about. So I went to the front of the house and looked out the window and I could see the glow. I want to say it was, at a guess, maybe 2-3 miles out. But we were experiencing hurricane force winds at that time. So winds going from 60 to, I never checked like the highest winds, but they were enough that after the fact, I learned that they were being carried, embers were being carried up to 3 miles.
Wow.
Just seeing the glow, how close it was. I think we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here now. So within 15 minutes, we grabbed a few things. I grabbed like our little fire safe with our passports and a few clothes and things. We checked on a couple neighbors that we didn't see actively evacuating. And we got out of there and we found out the next afternoon.
You'd lost everything.
The house had burned down.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. And then he's had to build up from that, guys, and come back again. So what a journey for
Yes.
this gentleman. He's had, virtually catastrophe and trauma after trauma. So he's obviously due for a very good run. Let's hope
Yeah.
this podcast is the start of the catalyst. Tell me, what advice would a 20-year-old comes to you, might be a son, a daughter, a nephew, or a niece, and they say to you, Christopher, I've just left school. What should I be doing with myself? What would your advice be?
First thing is what is your greatest interest
Yeah, your
right
passion.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would start with that. I believe that you don't necessarily have to your passion is not necessarily going to be the job you do,
Sure.
but you have to start with something that
That's right.
feeds you internally
Yeah,
before you can really set on the road to trying to achieve something, because your spirit needs nourishment just like your body does.
that's right.
And if you're not feeding your soul on some level, you're going to starve out before you actually get where you're trying to go.
Yes. And I'd say, you guys, when you're 20, you got your whole life here. You can travel and muck things up until you're 30 and still be okay, because you got a long life ahead of you, right? But find your passion, travel, and then reach out to people like Christopher or myself. Get a mentor. If you find something you like, get a mentor, and they'll help you shave years off the journey, right? And I left school at 14, guys, and I tell people I'm uneducated, not unintelligent. I read books, and readers are leaders, guys. Read books. Books cost you. And what I do, once I've read a book, funny fun fact for me, I put a little note inside the book, and I look around the coffee shop very carefully, and I get up and walk out, and I leave that book on the table. I leave it for the
Mm,
next person. That's me. That's just
that's
my
very true.
little thing where I'm paying it forward. I've enjoyed the book. I've got something out of it. Let's hope the next person does as well. All right. So that's one of my little foibles.
It's
Tell me,
awesome.
looking ahead, Christopher, you're a young man. You're at base camp at the moment, climbing that mountain. What are your goals and aspirations for the future? What are you going to be up to?
I want to continue being an example and a mentor to those who want to rewrite their story.
Nice.
Like what I'm seeing a lot of is people going out into the world and letting the world tell them
Yeah.
what where they need to go, what they need to do.
Yeah. Right.
And I want to be there for the people who say, I don't like this direction that everyone's telling me to go.
That's
My
right.
gut is telling me to go someplace else. Those people I'm here to help figure out what that is and how to actually go out into the world and live it. Because just having the goal is part of it, but understanding that
Yeah.
when you transform yourself, you're not doing this inside a bubble. You're going to hit resistance with your friends, your family, with
Absolutely.
people in your
I know all
community.
this.
Yeah, so you have to navigate this, and there are ways to do it where you're
Yeah.
not losing people. You're just
Yeah.
re-educating them on how to how to be your whatever they are, whatever that relationship is.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. A fun fact about me, guys. I did exactly what Chris was talking about. I left behind a $60,000 Lexus, a $100,000 boat I gave to one of my best friends, and I told 40 fair weather friends when I took them to a Chinese restaurant, I'm leaving Australia and I won't be back while I got a hole in my bum. And that was back in 2013. I've never been back since, and I never will go back, because what I've got now is true freedom. I've got the memories, I've got the freedom. I do what I want, when I want, where I want. Right. So I cut the cord. And I had dozens of them telling me, oh, you'll be back, you'll be back. I ain't ever going back. They're totally wrong. Within 1 week, I was walking down the street. I was surprised myself. I was actually walking down the street whistling. And I'd never whistled in my life. And there I was whistling like a bird, walking down the street. So obviously I was happy. And I've never been
Yeah.
happier, guys. I live life on my terms. And they go, you're so lucky, Jeff. I lost 20 million with COVID, guys. I'm not lucky. I make my own luck. I just dust myself off like Christopher's doing. Dust yourself off and go again. Right? Remember,
Yep.
it's up to me, basically. Tell me, Christopher, your amazing journey, and people want to know more about you and how you can help them. What's the best way to contact you? How would they go about that?
You can find me at ChristopherJWesley.com.
Nice.
That's
Yep.
ChristopherJWesley.com.
On the screen, yeah.
WESLEY.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah, there you go, guys. LinkedIn's always a good one. And reach out, guys. It costs. I tell you this, it's like a friend. Reach out. It's a virtual cup of coffee costs you nothing, zero. And see if you resonate. See if you can help each other, and you might spin up something together, right? But you don't know. And it cost me $20,000 to learn this from a business coach years ago. He told me only one thing: you don't know what you don't know. That's all I got out of that guy. But it made me millions. So I'm telling you guys, you don't know what you don't know. If you want to know something, reach out to Christopher or reach out to myself, have a chat. You never know where it might take us. And before we wrap up, my friend, tell us a fun fact about yourself that most people do not know.
I once played at Staples Center, which is a large arena. It's where the Los Angeles Lakers play basketball. Played the guitar there for a football game. And I was backing a singer. We went out, we did the rehearsal, and it was just awesome to be like the middle of the field. And I mean, at this point, it was rehearsal. There were no one in the stands. The teams were out doing stretching and all of that. And we went through the rehearsal and all of that. And then they pulled her because she was singing out of tune. So we didn't get to play for the game.
Right. What a pity. What a pity.
Yeah.
Right.
But
how old were you then?
30.
30. Not bad. Not bad. So pretty recent. Yeah, very recent, my friend. So keep it up. You never know. Keep dreaming big, my friend. Keep dreaming big. Guys, we're about to wrap this up now. And like say, it's 15 minutes of fame. You can see what it's about, guys. It's like talking to a friend. Come on, 15 minutes of fame. We'll make it into a mini movie all about you. And then we'll help you. And you help yourself by putting it out there everywhere. But we'll put it on Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, school, all the platforms with all your social media links. And the rest is up to you guys. Christopher, you've been a great guest. Any last words for our audience, please?
Just remember that expression is medicine, whatever way that expression takes place, whether it's through your clothes, through your tattoos, through the way that you speak.
Yeah, that's right. And I tell people, speak kindly to yourself. Speak kindly to yourself because you're listening. Right. Thanks, Christopher.
Yeah.